Today, HUG is the #1 hospital in Switzerland. Because of its size, its importance, the quantities of its researchers, and the quality of its staff, it is truly a leader, not just in Switzerland, but internationally. Today, the main challenge is the aging population, ultimately the increasing population of Geneva, which means more and more people are seeking care from the hospital. Our major challenge is to preserve an optimum quality of care in a context where resources are not always easy to find, and where we really want to remain at the forefront of medical advances in Europe. We are constructing more buildings to meet the expectations of the public, the expectations of patients. Today we still have rooms with 6 beds, which is not normal. In the new building we will have rooms with 2 beds, providing maximum comfort for patients and efficiency for staff and for the quality of medicine.
We have around 6 teams, 100 people working almost every day on this building. Care teams who are responsible for defining the structure of the equipment for the new care units. Surgical unit specialists, surgeons, anesthetists, and perioperative nurses who are defining the new surgical unit structures. All the logistics involved in managing flows, visitor flows, patient flows, and the flow of goods and equipment for delivery to the different units.
For patients, university hospital care means access to constantly changing medical care, combining research with the arrival of new technologies, with caregivers who are being trained and who want to develop these new technologies. Communication between the new surgical units and the current units will be open, and thus it will ultimately be more than one single site communicating with recovery rooms and the technical facilities. Depending on the pathology, for example, if you have lung or heart disease, there will be a different clinical pathway, and all of this is integrated into the architecture of the building. If there is a need to operate, patients will be hospitalized close to the surgical units, and the surgical units are close to the technical facilities.
We will create 6 additional operating theaters, which will first of all enable us to adapt the program to treat the patients more quickly, which in turn will mean less waiting time and will therefore improve internal patient care, and also to introduce new technologies such as automated rooms. So this will really make things easier. To make things clear, bed building 2 is actually 2 buildings. This allows for interconnections with the existing building, and floors 2 to 8 are the care units. So movements are properly defined for each floor. On level R, you have all the activities related to facility operations. On level P, you have the extension of the technical facilities, which will be in-house, so to speak. On level O, everything related to the transfer of patient beds. And the first floor, where we are at the moment, will ensure full public and user access between the 2 buildings. Each floor has its own function and guarantees transfer of activities without having to go outside or make a detour.
When you are on the esplanade, you enter, you take an escalator, and after going up the escalator, you find yourself directly on the roof of the opera building. You can cross the roof of the opera building. There will also be a cafeteria on the roof, which HUG will create. And then you continue and take the gallery that links all the other buildings and divisions. And you can obviously exit via the current entrance, which will remain active. You will therefore go through the hospital, the entire hospital, in a continuous way.
La totalité de l'hôpital de façon continue.
La prise en charge du patient.
Patient care in the new building will be identical to the way it is currently performed.
There will simply be many more facilities and undoubtedly a much greater level of everyday comfort for everyone. A new way of caring for the patient is planned, that is, in an environment with only 1 or 2 beds. This is a great opportunity, as it is much more pleasant to treat someone when they are in a single room or in a room with 2 beds than when there are many more patients. It is clearly good for the patient's peacefulness, for their privacy, for everything to do with their treatment.
Of course, we will not just stop with this bed building. We will soon begin the 4th and final stage of the renovation at maternity. The issue of the emergency room will soon be addressed, where we have a rise in demand due to an increase in population. So at some point, the size of the emergency room will need to be increased.
The hospital district is constantly developing and changes can be seen every day. It's important to know that practically every 6 months a care unit is opened or closed. This really is a sector that is constantly changing. It's evolving and will continue to evolve over the coming years.
Our challenge is to continue to be the best, both compared to the competition and compared to the rest of Europe, to continue to be a referral hospital for Greater Geneva and the referral hospital of choice for patients for all Geneva residents, and also to ensure that the hospital staff feel comfortable working here.